What's up guys, it's Will back again, and today's review is The Girl on the Train. The Girl on the Train is a mystery thriller film that was directed by Tate Taylor and is based on the 2015 novel of the same name written by Paula Hawkins. Well, this film primarily follows Emily Blunt's character Rachel Watson, a recently divorced woman who spends a great deal of her time riding a train and living in the past because her present reality isn't necessarily ideal. Every day she rides on this train, she sees a woman and her husband on their balcony who seem to be madly in love, and Rachel eventually becomes invested in their relationship, although she doesn't know them, because she believes this couple is the embodiment of true love, and that's something she's seeking herself. Well, one day Rachel sees the woman on her balcony with another man, and this begins to shatter her reality. So not long after, Rachel locates this woman named Megan Hipwell, played by Haley Bennett, and in a drunken rage calls her a whore and then blacks out. After this event transpires, Megan disappears soon thereafter, and you're shown a bunch of different perspectives of characters who all have a stake in this whole ordeal in some way, shape, or form. The rest of the film is spent watching our characters evolving relationships with one another as the mystery of Megan Hipwell's disappearance slowly begins to unravel. Okay, so currently this movie sits at a 43% among critics and a 57% among audience members on Rotten Tomatoes. And I've disagreed with many of Rotten scores before, there's plenty of them if you go back and watch my 2016 movie reviews playlist, but this one I found I especially disagree with because I really do not understand all the hate for this movie. It's exactly what I expected it to be coming in, and I was very entertained from start to finish. This movie has a lot of things going for it and some things not going for it, so to speak. Let's start with the story. This is a very mysterious story that sort of resembles that of a soap opera dynamic. You have 6 key characters that all play a pivotal role in this plot, and the story 100% follows those 6 characters and the drama that takes place between them. I've seen this held against the film in some critics' reviews, and I legitimately do not understand this criticism at all. If you watch the trailers, I think it's pretty obvious that this film has a soap opera-like style because you're focused on the drama between a small group of characters and families, just like you are in a soap opera. And I didn't mind this at all because in this film, while soap opera-like, the drama present doesn't usually feel contrived whatsoever. Each of these characters had a role to play in the disappearance of Megan Hipwell, and as the truth slowly starts to become clearer and clearer, you're asked to play detective and come up with what you think actually happened long before the truth ever hits the screen. And maybe I'm just dumb, but I did not see the finale coming at all, and the unpredictability and twisty-turny nature of this story had me captivated, especially in the climax of the film, because you get a pretty crazy resolution, I'll just say that. Now, this film is built on the interactions that take place between the characters, because that's where most of the drama and progression of the story actually happens. And I gotta say, the acting is just awesome in this movie. Emily Blunt especially really impressed me, and I think she absolutely deserves a Best Lead Actress nomination for her work in this one, despite the poor reviews the film itself has gotten. Her character Rachel is just a mess for the majority of the movie because she's broken up about her failed marriage, and she has a bit of an alcohol problem, so she's actually drunk most of the time. And even when she's not drunk, she's just very, very depressed, and she doesn't really have much of a purpose in life until Megan goes missing and she tries to help find her. The other 5 key actors in this movie are Haley Bennett, who plays Megan Hipwell, a young woman who struggles to find her place in the world and eventually goes missing. Luke Evans as Scott Hipwell, Megan's hothead of a husband, Justin Theroux as Tom Watson, Rachel's ex-husband, Rebecca Ferguson as Anna Watson, Tom's new wife and the mother of his child, and finally Edgar Ramirez as Dr. Kamal Abdig, Megan's therapist. It would take too much time to go into each one of these performances individually, but I'll just say that all the characters had a very clear identity and served a very specific purpose to the story being told. I really enjoyed all their work, but besides Emily Blunt, I thought Haley Bennett shined the brightest in this movie, and I think she is definitely a rising star. All the actors were fantastic though. So like I said, all the character interactions are what drives this movie forward, and they wouldn't really work without well-written dialogue. Well, needless to say, these character interactions are very nicely written, and a lot of these conversations end up with some pretty tense and at times explosive results. I'll just say that. These are all very flawed characters, every single one of them, so when they actually interact with one another, you get to see their flaws firsthand, and I started thinking to myself, like, maybe one of them did have something to do with Megan's disappearance because they have issue A or issue B. It all adds to the mystery of the story, and eventually the thriller elements show up as well. I also thought the cinematography was really well done too. This is a very nicely shot film from start to finish, and what they obviously focused on were the characters' emotions during these tense interactions. Considering this film is built on the characters and their interactions, there's a lot of tight shots that emphasize the characters' emotions during these times of distress, to let you know, hey, how our characters are responding to this adversity really matters above all else. Okay, so as for a couple things I didn't like about this film, well, firstly, there are a couple of logic stretches and conveniences that sort of pull you out of this story. For example, characters will meet up with other characters out of the blue for seemingly no apparent reason, and it felt like the drama was a tad forced in these spots. Or characters will do things that obviously they did to push the plot forward that don't necessarily feel realistic. I also felt the editing and arrangement of the story threw me off a little bit because the film is sort of rearranged to show you the actual events leading up to Megan's disappearance and then back to present time, and sometimes I wasn't sure which timeline I was actually watching, which obviously can be a bit confusing. But overall, I really enjoyed The Girl on the Train, and my expectations were definitely met. I thought it had a very mysterious and thrilling story, amazing acting all around, great dialogue and dramatic character interactions, and very very strong cinematography. I also felt there were some logic stretches and conveniences present, and the arrangement of the story's timeline threw me off a little bit. I'm still gonna give The Girl on the Train a 9 out of 10 and recommend that you go see this one in theaters if you're looking for a well-acted drama thriller film. So did you guys see The Girl on the Train yet? What did you think of it? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if not, let me know whether you'd be interested in watching this film or not. And as always, if you like this video, click that like button and don't forget to subscribe to my channel for much more content like this. That's all for now though. This is WillFoxification signing off. See you in the next review.